So my mom is making some delicious egusi soup, and I thought, why don't I make a video of it? Maybe there'll be someone out there that will wanna learn how we make our egusi soup. I'm not gonna take the credit, it's my mom making the soup, but I'm gonna make a video of it. So my mom had already started cooking before I remember to grab my camera to record. The meat is already boiling. The meat is cooking. She added some water, salt, seasoning powder, and some chopped onions to the meat. So right here we have the palm oil. That's the ingredients that she's using to make this soup. That's the palm oil, the egusi mixed. She mixed the egusi with warm water, and the salt and the cleaned or washed deboned dried fish, and that's the powdered crayfish or crayfish powder, and the seasoning powder as well. Then this is the special ingredients that she's using to make this soup. This is called ogiri obe. It's also called iru or locust beans. So it's a special ingredient that she's gonna use to make this soup. We have so many different ways we make egusi soup. You don't have to add the ogiri obe. We don't always add that. This is dried ground pepper. So the ogiri obe, we don't always add the ogiri obe, but on today's cooking, she wanted to use that ingredient. So that's what makes the egusi soup special. So she's done cooking the meat. You don't want your meat overdone, so that's why she's taking them out from the pot. So the meat is already done cooking. So the next thing she's gonna do is to add enough water, water that will be enough for cooking. You can still add water depending on the consistency you want your soup to be. So right now she's adding the water because she's ready to start cooking the soup proper. She's done making the meat, cooking the meat. The first ingredient she's adding is the palm oil. So usually during the cold weather, the palm oil becomes solid because of the cold weather. Usually it's like regular oil, but whenever it's cold during winter period, it's usually solid. So that's why it's looking like butter. So she's adding palm oil. After that, I think the next thing is gonna be to allow the stock and the oil to boil. Then once it starts boiling, then you will start adding your egusi mix. And that's what she's doing right now. She's adding the egusi mix. I'm so lucky to have my mom here with me. She's such a blessing. I can't even thank her enough. She does most of the cooking, and it's such a relief for me. I don't have to worry about food or feeding the kids. So I mean, while she's here, I'm just enjoying it. After you're done adding your egusi, you give it a good stir, cover your pot, and allow it to cook for like 2 minutes. While you're waiting for it to cook, you continue to stir in between to prevent the soup from burning. After that, you add your fish. She already added the fish, and give it a stir, then allow it to boil. So you just have to keep stirring and stirring just to prevent the soup from getting burnt. Then now she's putting back the meat that she initially took. She's adding the meat right now. Once she's done adding the meat, she will give it a stir. That's what she's doing right now. She's stirring the the soup to prevent it from burning. So that's one thing with egusi soup. You just have to keep stirring. If not, your soup is going to burn. So after that, she added the crayfish powder. You add the crayfish powder, add the pepper, the dried pepper, and the ogiri ube. That's the locust beans. So pretty much she's added most of the ingredients that she needs for this soup. Then you give it a stir. Make sure it's not burning. You just have to keep stirring, and depending on the consistency that you want, if you want your egusi to be light, you can add more water at this time, or if you want it to be thick, you don't have to add water. So it all depends on the consistency that you want your soup to be. Stir, cover your pot, allow it to cook for a couple minutes. If you need to turn down your heat, you do that. If you notice, she keeps adjusting the heat. This is just to prevent the soup from burning. So she's adding seasoning powder at this time, and after that she's gonna add the salt to taste. For a goosey soup, you can use any vegetable of your choice. You can there are lots of leafy vegetables out there that you can use. You can use collard green, pumpkin, which is ugu, spinach, bitter leaf. There are a lot of choices out there. Just use whatever you like. For today, she's using bitter leaf and spinach. So she already washed the bitter leaf. She already got all the leafy vegetables ready, and she's adding the bitter leaf right now. You don't have to use type two different vegetables. You don't have to use that. Like I said, it depends on what you want to do. You can just use one vegetable. You can use only spinach, or you can use only bitter leaf, or you can use only collard green. So it all depends on what you want to do. So but on today's cooking, she's using bitter leaf as well as using spinach. She already added the bitter leaf. Usually you add the bitter leaf first because bitter leaf tend to be stronger. It's tend to be harder. So you put the bitter leaf first so it can soften before you put your spinach. So that's the idea. So she continues to stir the food. Like I said, you just have to keep stirring, if not your soup is going to burn. So just stir and stir, allow it to cook. Lastly, she's gonna add the spinach. Once you add the spinach, at that time your food is already done. Like when you know your soup is cooked, you add your spinach. Thank you for hanging out with me on this video. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. Consider joining this growing family. And to all my returning subscribers, I love you guys. Okay, she already added the spinach. So for this soup, you can either use rice. Some people use rice in eating their egusi soup, but we're going to use fufu in eating this soup. So you have like different types of fufu. You have the plantain flour, you have the plantain fufu, yam, cassava, corn, oatmeal, or wheat. So but today we are going to use pounded yam. After making the soup, she's also going to make the pounded yam fufu. She's just giving it the last stir, and the food is already done, as you can see. Some of you might be wondering, how come the house is quiet? Where are the kids? The kids are still in school, so they are not back. That's why the house is so quiet. If you don't already know, I have kids. But right now they went to school and they're not yet back from school. That's why the house is kind of quiet, and my mom and I are just enjoying the quietness because as soon as they get home, it's going to be a different ball game. So for the fufu, you have to boil water first. Put your water in the pot and allow it to boil. After that, then you start pouring the powder mix. That's what makes the fufu. So as you pour the powder, you pour the powder. You keep stirring it on until it gets thick. Then you continue stirring. You just have to keep stirring to prevent it from developing lumps. If you don't want lumps in your fufu, so you just have to keep stirring it to prevent the lumps. So if you're trying to learn one of Nigerian's popular soups, this is a good one to learn because it's easy to make. So egusi soup is one soup that most people like. So it's very easy to make. So if you're trying to learn how to make a Nigerian soup or something different from what you've known, you can try this egusi soup. It's very delicious and it's easy to make. The fufu is done right now, and she's just gonna dish it out, and then we can enjoy our meal. So guys, if you haven't tried egusi soup, give it a try. um I promise you, you will like it. It is very delicious. It's one of Nigeria's delicacies, so try it. Try with pounded yam. You will like it. Try it, come back here and let me know what you think about it. um I'm sure you won't be disappointed. I promise you. Okay, so I'll be ending this video here. If you are still watching, I really do appreciate you. Thank you for still sticking around with me, and thank you for all my returning subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.